Oh, let me tell you this. This is not the same old Eagles secondary. Nah. And any team that thinks it is going to get double moonwalked in the ass.
Yo, everybody, doing King Dingbat here. So today we have come with the hell is that? It's a big ass dog.
Dallas still stinks. Yo, everybody doing King Dingbat here, and I hope everybody's having a great day. I hope you guys are doing well. Let me first say, I may lose my voice during this video. If it goes in and out, I'm sorry. I lost it last night watching the Sixers Celtics. I was so pissed at that game. I can't believe it. Now, today was day 2 of training camp. And that's right, I call it day 2 of training camp because the truth is, everything's been going on the last few weeks is more like a mini off season, okay? We are in training camp now. They are putting the pads, they are getting out there, and they are getting at it. Not live hitting yet, but they're working their way up. And training camp has started, and it was an interesting day 2, to say the least. First thing, Jason Peters, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, back at practice. Deshaun Jackson, Jason Kelsey, guys over 30, got a maintenance day. Didn't really have to do too much. It was more of a rest. They got to take care of those 30-year-old and over guys. You just do, especially when you got 5 straight practices in a row, and this was day 2 of 5 of them. So those guys got to rest. And let's talk about the offense for a second, okay? Because first thing we got to talk about, Carson Wentz didn't have a good day. He didn't really have a good day. He was a little off today. But the one thing I like about Carson, and even when he has an off day, especially the way he's been conducting himself this training camp so far, is he's intense. He is into it. He is focused in. He is locked. The North Dakota Assassin's ready to go. Okay, they said there was one play where he overthrew a pass in the end zone. He got so pissed, he slammed his helmet on the ground, and people were like, I never seen Carson do that in practice. Never seen that out of him in practice situation. But it just shows you how focused and ready to go he is. He threw a couple interceptions. He had one go off Corey Clement, right into Nathan Gary, Jerry, whatever you want to call him, and he got a pick. Jalen Mills got a pick off of him later on. So it wasn't Carson's best day, but at least he's into it. He's intense, and that's the main thing. Jalen Hurts. Everything I'm hearing about him, the Eagles are very impressed with him. They like him a lot. Of course, I'm not saying that there's any quarterback competition. There's not. However, he's getting a lot of reps, and they may like him already more than Sudfeld. And they love him in the red zone, especially. His ability to run and how mobile he is and fast to run, score touchdowns in the red zone. He had a couple today, as well as a touchdown pass, I believe, to Perkins. So he's looking good. The Eagles like what they see. I'm going to talk a little bit more about him in a later video coming out either later this evening or early tomorrow morning. So I'll hold off on that. On offense, we got to talk about Quez Watkins. And really, I mean, dude, what I'm hearing about Quez Watkins is some really good stuff. I mean, this guy is so explosive. And what they're saying is, besides Rager, I mean, he's ready to go. Like, he is capable right now of coming in and playing. He can play right now, okay? There was a play where Slay was on him, and he just went right by Slay, man. He had a lot of space on Slay. Now, Slay, being who he is, was able to close quick and break up a pass. But Quez Watkins is all over the place making plays. Okay, he constantly beats Russell Douglas, especially. That's just not a good matchup. Okay, however, Quez Watkins, from what I'm hearing, sounds like if you had to do a depth chart, you would put him above John Hightower. Now, Hightower is a little more mixed bags. I hear some things where, he's quiet at times, a little bit, he's learning, and then he makes some really big plays. Like the last play of practice today was a 40-yard bomb from Carson to Hightower. So Hightower's making his plays too. It's just not as consistent. Quez Watkins just looks like he's so far advanced. I'm very excited about Quez Watkins. I said 6th round pick. It was a sleeper pick, and it's just great. I'm excited about him. And of course, you have Jalen Reagor. Looks great. Everything we hear about Reagor is fantastic too. He was working on kickoff returns with Quez Watkins today, and he's going to be so explosive in special teams. We haven't had like a special teams touchdown since like 2016. We haven't had a touchdown. I believe Reagor's presence on special teams, whether it's the punt return game, the kick return game, I believe he gives us 1 to 2 more wins this year because the way he's going to be able to switch the field position, and he's going to get a couple touchdowns. So Reagor continues to impress. I'm loving these wide receivers. Look at me. I'm so happy we got wide receivers that can move and can run. It's great. So those guys, they're off to a good start. No question about it. Now, I want to focus on defense for a little bit. And I want to specifically focus. Oh, actually, before I do that, I have to say Andre Dillard had a pretty good day. He shut down Josh Sweat. The offensive line, they were cheering him on. And apparently, he had a pretty good day, too. I needed to mention that as well before we move on to the defense. And to me, the best part of this practice, the biggest thing to take out of this practice, and that's the secondary. This secondary was making plays left and right today. They were all over the field. And this whole thing starts with the defensive back coach, Mark Emanuel, because from everything I'm hearing about him and the energy that he's bringing this Eagles defensive backs, not only energy physically on the field, but like mentally and the approach and how he's handling them. He's got these guys playing good, man. He had Rasul Douglas fired up. He's got these guys confidence high. And there was a lot of guys got a lot of interceptions today. I don't remember an Eagles practice in training camp where they've had as many interceptions as they had today, okay? Nathan Gary gets one off of Carson Wentz. It went off Clement's hands into Nathan Gary. Kavon Wallace, he gets a pick on Jalen Hurts. Jalen Mills, he gets a pick on Carson Wentz. Roby Coleman dropped a perfectly positioned interception. But a lot of guys having interceptions. This secondary is making plays. Slay rebounded, had a good practice. Like I said, he had that one play where Watkins was beating him. He was able to close in and recover and break up a play. But when you look at it and this practice, this secondary looks like they are much improved, and I love to see the way that they're flying around, making interceptions, something we don't hear about. Now, I'll tell you this. The thing that I find the most intriguing about this secondary isn't just, that everybody's getting interceptions, making plays, flying around, looking great, but it's the battle at that second starting corner spot. Because for the second day in a row, Avonte Maddox was starting at that corner spot. Now, I said for months that I think Avonte Maddox is going to win that second starting corner spot. And so far, based on the first 2 days of camp, they're letting him start. Now, I don't know if that's because he's above Sidney Jones on the depth chart or if that's just because he's getting first crack at it. What I do know is from everything I've heard about Avonte Maddox so far and everything we've seen at camp, he's been pretty much doing his job. You haven't heard about a lot of plays where he's been getting beat here, getting beat there, and, things like that. For the most part, it seems like he's doing his job. As far as Sidney Jones goes, I've heard he's been beat quite a few times, to be honest with you. One was really bad today where there was a big pass downfield thrown to Perkins. He went up, tried to make the big interception, wind up missing the ball, fell on the ground. Perkins caught it, was able to turn around and run all the way downfield. You know how many times we've seen that in games with Sidney Jones? We've seen it a lot. So based upon just what I've heard and just what we've seen, I would make the observation that most likely Avonte Maddox is right now ahead of Sidney Jones when it comes to that starting corner spot. But we really don't know. We really don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I'm curious to see if one of these practices they put Sidney Jones at starting corner. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens to kind of see what he can do. But that's a really intriguing battle. I wish there were preseason games to watch that battle take place, during these games. But I like Avonte Maddox's chance to win the spot. And another guy we need to talk about is Cre'Von LeBlanc. Has been lights out from what I've heard. Okay, they've said when he's had to make a play, he's made it. He's been lights out. Now he's in a tough spot because you got Roby Coleman. And I think he's going to win that starting slot spot. But Cre'Von LeBlanc has to be part of this team. Has to be part of that rotation. No question about it. Today is a day for the defense. It's a day for especially the secondary. And oh, by the way, TJ Edwards was flying around making some big plays, breaking up screen passes, things like that, as well as Sean Bradley. Sean Bradley finished practice today with a huge hit. Yet again, had the whole defense fired up. And we're going to talk more about Sean Bradley in my upcoming video I talked about earlier. It'll be out either tonight or early tomorrow. But we're going to talk about Sean Bradley, Jalen Hurts, and some of these guys because there's a lot to be said. Anyways, that's basically what's been happening so far. The practice day 2. Let me know, what are your thoughts in the comments? What do you think about these guys so far? What do you think about this battle at the cornerback spot? Do you think Avonte Maddox wins it? Do you think Sidney Jones wins? Let me know in the comment section. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. And don't be a dingbat.